This is the broken 3D printer. The name's stuck, but it certainly isn't broken anymore. In the last 4 episodes, we got our first prints, installed Clipper, upgraded the extrusion system, converted it to 24 volts, and added a few quality of life features. Today we're fixing up a few basic upgrades and installing some exciting ones, namely the Nomi 2, which Big Tree Tech kindly provided for this video. This will give the machine a color touchscreen with added features such as monitoring settings and basic functions like retraction and heat up. Stay till the end to see the final upgrade list and total cost of this project. Firstly, I'd like to remake the stands for the printer. They're decent, but I have some 2020 extrusions lying around, which when cut to length will be a much better off component. I hope the added stability will help with the print quality, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Since that didn't work, it was now time to move on to cable management. As you can see, it was pretty important that I got the situation under control. It was far too messy at the moment.
I've got to fix up all of this wiring. It's a mess. I believe these wires back here are for the previous fan, so I'm going to keep them and then hook them up to a multimeter and test that they are working. These plates I made are way too flimsy, so I got to fix that. And maybe I'll make some kind of cover that covers everything. It'll make it look a whole lot cleaner. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll take all the electronics off of their enclosures, and I'm going to tidy up all the cables, and then I'll redesign the enclosure things. It's always fun reclaiming previous used hardware. It goes back in the box. I have a lot of boxes of hardware. All right, let's see if this works. Well, that took a while, but now comes the fun part. Is that all of them? I think so. It's so much more organized. I rerouted a bunch of cables as well. Shame about all the waste though. That's why I don't like using zip ties all the time. I had an offer to review a laser cutter and I declined it, and now I can't stop thinking about all the ideas that I could do with a laser cutter. Maybe I'll get back to them. We'll see. Instead of using a laser cutter, you can always use a saw of some kind, but sometimes that isn't the right option. The accuracy of a good laser cutter is almost unmatched, which is why PCBWay offers not only laser cutting, but other technologies like CNC machining, 3D printing, and PCB fabrication. If you have an idea, PCBWay can easily bring it to reality. I've tested their 3D printing services and I'm very pleased so far. With a massive variety of materials to work with, brilliant customer service, and shipping time, PCBWay is more than worth checking out. You can find them first link in the description. So as you may know, for the BL Touch, I designed a bit of a skeleton mount, and I think doing the same for the mounting plates for the electronics would be a good idea too, because a whole part like this just takes way too much material and too long to print. Basically, as long as the electronics aren't touching the ground, then it's good. Okay, so we've got the Raspberry Pi here, we've got the stepper motor splitter there, and we've got the main board there. So it'll all be right next to each other. Should be easy to model up. Okay, that's installed. The Raspberry Pi is screwed in, the motherboard is screwed in, everything is mounted correctly. So now we can move on to the next stage. This is really fiddly. I love the Stanley screwdriver, but it doesn't have a magnet at the end for the screws. So annoying. Finally got the screws in, bit more awkward than I anticipated, but it's done now. So when I pick up the machine now, the main board and all that comes with it and stays flat. I'm going to have the fan mounted here since there's a lot of stuff happening over here and I'd like to keep over here clean. So let's design a mount that holds the fan about here. Previously I needed this big fan to be operating to keep the stepper motors cool, so we'll see if this fixes it now. Starting the leveling command, which is good, it's made it further than before, so we'll just have to see if the print completes or not.
The print itself was an LED light bar which turned out fine, the drivers didn't overheat, but the LEDs themselves aren't very dense, so it really wasn't worth it. It's not very dense either, I can only get 3 LEDs on this entire thing. Then I can save the rest for later. There we go. I also printed some cable covers to prevent the wires from going anywhere. Let's talk about the Nomi 2. It's a 1.28 inch screen utilising an ESP32 chip for connectivity. It's compact, has great viewing angles, is really easy to use, and easy to integrate, especially if you have a Voron 3D printer. It's open source, which is nice, and has a ton of expansion options thanks to the GPIO and I2C pins. I finally put the correct IP address for the printer. Took me a while to find it. Looks like we're booting up. I love that it's wireless and you only need 2 wires for power. You can easily control filament and temps, start and stop prints, and home all with just a few taps. It's actually quite a nifty little upgrade. Oh, that's so cool. After a few iterations, the printed mounting parts were looking decent, but much like my CAD knowledge, they could be improved upon a lot more. So since the rest of the parts are in blue, you can see the rest of the machine's in blue, I'm going to be printing those parts in blue. While doing some testing, the printer performed well during high-speed printing, but that wasn't the main focus. Comparing old calibration prints to current ones, the difference is quite noticeable. Not only is the dimensional accuracy improved, but since the cooling fans are 50-15 24V ones, they're a lot quieter. Let's quickly summarise every notable upgrade I've done to this machine since I bought it. In part 1, I didn't upgrade anything, but I got the machine fixed enough to print. In part 2 and beyond, I upgraded the hot end to a Volcano and CHT nozzle combo, Clipper firmware was flashed, and I removed the old electronics enclosure for a basic printed mounting plate. Next up, I added a PEI flex plate, bimetal heat break, BMG clone extruder, and cooling for the electronics. I swapped the large extruder stepper motor for a pancake one as well, and I also fixed the dimensional accuracy of my prints and added insulation to the heated bed. In episode 4, I converted the machine to 24V, upgraded the hot end to a ceramic one, swapped to a Volcano CHT nozzle, integrated a power socket, and stuck heatsinks to the stepper motors. In the Clipper config, UART mode for current control was added thanks to Houghton, and adaptive mesh bed leveling was as well. Finally, I incorporated the Nomi 2, more efficient fans, a rather odd light bar, stepper driver cooling, and a more refined electronics mount. That's quite a few upgrades. The total estimated cost of this project is around $393 New Zealand dollars. From a cost perspective, it's not really worth it, but it was a lot of fun. The majority of this cost comes from the new extruder, hot end, 24V upgrade, and Raspberry Pi, which was over $175 total. I could have easily brought the total cost down by purchasing different ones, but the print quality would not be as good, and the quality of life would not be the same. It was also fun trying out different components. Currently, the printer is my favourite to use, not just because it works, although that is a key point, but because of its history. Even though I did upgrade the printer for speed and quality combined, I'd love to do a one-off episode sometime in the near future where I modify it entirely for speed. I'm talking high voltage drivers with more powerful stepper motors, better cooling and extrusion components again, and making the whole thing just more modder friendly by finding a way to easily access the mainboard and other things like that. However, I'll only do this once I have a replacement printer that I can use in the meantime, since this is my main printer at the moment. I'll keep you guys updated on that. I'd like to give a huge shout out to PCBWay and Big Tree Tech, and everyone who left a helpful or positive comment on this series. Thanks to all of you, I was able to continue this series and improve and enjoy almost every minute of it. And it's clogged again! All jokes aside though, thank you for supporting this series. That does bring us to the end of the video though, so I hope you guys enjoyed the final episode. Thank you so much for watching it, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.